Now, in all the songs and exercises that we've learnt together in this video series, we've tuned the guitar to standard or regular tuning. In other words, we've tuned the guitar to E, B, G, D, A and E. However, it is possible to tune the guitar in many ways to get a different sound or feel to the music that we're playing. Now, probably the most commonly used alternative tuning to standard or regular tuning on an acoustic guitar is something we call open D or dropped D tuning. And what that involves is playing the first 5 strings in the normal way, or tuning the strings to E, B, G, D, A. But when we come to the 6th string, we can actually tune that down so that it matches the 4th string open. Like that. There's an octave between the notes, but they should sound the same. Now, when we play songs and exercises in this tuning, the open D tuning, we generally play in the key of D major. And of course that involves playing 3 chords, or holding down 3 chords. The first one is the D major chord. But of course the difference now is we can play all 6 strings. We get a nice drone effect on the 6th string there. And when we play the G chord, we have to extend the finger from the 3rd fret on the 6th string up to the 6th string 5th fret. So we hold down a G chord like that. And then we play the A7th chord like that, or we can play an A chord, a long A chord like that, putting a bar on the 2nd fret and extending the little finger up here onto the 1st string 5th fret. So just familiarise yourself with these 3 chords. Long A, A7th, or A7th, like that, back to the D major chord. Okay, so the first exercise I'm going to show you in open D tuning is a nice little blues exercise which I'm sure you're going to enjoy playing. I'm using a 12-string guitar in this exercise, but I've tuned the 6th string, or the pair of strings here, just to explain. On a 12-string guitar, the 1st string, the 2 strings are the same, 2nd string, the 2 strings are the same, and then there's an octave between the 2 strings on the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th string. Gives a nice rich sound. But we can play fingerstyle on a guitar like this, or plectrum style, whatever. Here's a little blues exercise in D major. So let me show you how to play this blues exercise. It's in the key of D major, so we hold down a D major chord, and then we start by alternating on the 6th and 4th strings, like that. Now we use the fingers fairly liberally on the other strings, but so long as we stick to the rule of thumb on the 3 bass strings, the index finger on the 3rd string, the middle finger on the 2nd string, and the ring finger on the 1st string as a sort of general rule. Okay, so and what I'm doing there is lifting off the 2nd finger on the left hand to get a really good open sound there. Get used to doing that. I'll play very slowly for you. And we bring in this. Now, I bring the 2nd finger on the left hand onto the 5th string, 3rd fret. Onto the 3rd fret, hammer off. 6th string, 3rd fret, and we can bend the note there, or we can double hammer on the 5th string, like this. And then we go into the first shape. We go into, in fact, what is the D major chord in the 2nd position. There's the D major chord, but we really just need part of that. And keeping this alternating bass, we can slide into the shape like this. So I'm bringing my little finger up to the 7th fret, 2nd string, 1st finger on the 1st string, 5th fret, sliding up. Or you can perhaps use your 3rd finger. And then into this shape. Once again. Watch very carefully. Notice the hammer off there. Now we go to the G chord. Remember, the 3rd finger on the 6th string, 5th fret, playing the 2nd string open with that. Alternating again. And into the D chord. So very slowly, just to recap. Hammer on there, hammer off. Then we take the next shape, which is in fact half a bar on the 5th fret and a little finger extended up here onto the 8th fret. take the shape, the same shape, up onto the 7th fret, little finger extended the same way. And we stay there. Show you how to play that. What we're doing is holding the bar shape down and using the fingers like that. Keeping the alternating bass going there. Little half bar there. Back into Now, to help you learn how to play this piece, I'll play it through very slowly and you'll see the chord shapes illustrated on the screen. Now, the very first chord shape involves playing 4 strings together. Once again. Up to the 12th fret, 2nd and 3rd strings. And then bringing in the D bass down to the 7th fret on the 2nd and 4th strings, 4th, and then bringing in the A bass down to the 2nd fret. Notice the change there. Bringing in the D bass now. D major chord, repeating. Then up to the 14th fret. Familiar chord shape, a B7th shape in fact. Like that. Back down to the 7th fret. And then into this shape. 3 chord shapes there. Finishing on a D major chord. Let me just break this down for you. In the first part of this song, the important elements here are the first string, the third string, and of course the open D, the sixth string. But we hold down the first chord shape on the 5th fret, which is in fact the D major chord, alternating the bass there, bringing the little finger onto the first string, and then down to this shape. Nice open sound there. So we play keeping that finger on the third string, up to that shape. Into the second part, we hold down the first finger on the first string, 5th fret, and of course on the third string on the 7th fret. And we've got a descending bass line on this third string. Little finger down here, into that shape. E minor 7th chord. Very slowly again. Finishing on the D bass. We now go into the middle section, which I'm sure you'll find interesting. It involves playing the 6th string and the 4th string here. We come in like this. Quick hammer on there. On the 3rd string. Little finger stretch there to the let me just take this through slowly. On the 3rd string there. Constant bass note playing there. Into we come into the end part of this. descends from the 5th fret, 5th fret 1st string here, finishing in the D major chord there with the D bass. Another interesting tuning for acoustic guitar is something we call open G tuning, and this involves tuning the 5th string and the 6th string, and I'll just tune that down for you. All the other strings are in tune, E, B, G, D, but we tune the A string down to G, so that should match the 3rd string. And there should be an octave between them, of course. And then we go to the 6th string and tune that down to D, and that should match the 4th string open. Like that. Okay, so just match those strings. Firstly the 5th to the 3rd and the 6th to the 4th. Right, we'll check the other strings again. Just go through the tuning to make sure the guitars are in tune. E, 1st string, B, 2nd string, 3rd string G, 4th string D, 5th string G, and 6th string D. Right, let me show you how to play this simple piece of music, this simple exercise. We place the 1st finger on the 2nd string 1st fret and the 2nd finger on the 3rd string 2nd fret. And it's important to play these 2 strings together with the 5th bass string, the G bass. Play it open first of all, and just go over the fretboard, and then just play the open strings. Play that twice. Make these fingers run up the fretboard, 1st, 2nd, 3rd fret. Up to the 5th fret 2nd string. Watch the fingering. Let's try that twice again. Just bring your finger up onto the 1st string, 7th fret there. Then into this shape. And what What we're holding down there is the first string 7th fret and the 3rd string 7th fret together. And we're keeping this constant bass on the open G here. And run that down like that into that shape, ending up on the 1st string 3rd fret and the 3rd string 4th fret. So, keeping the constant bass. So what we've got so far. And you can slide up to that. Finishing off on a bar chord. And so the good thing about an open G tuning is that we can play a full chord just by holding the bar like that. And notice I'm alternating there, 5th and 6th strings. Finishing off 5th string open, 3 strings harmonics, like that. Okay, that completes this exercise. Okay, let's work through this together. In terms of chord shapes, there are quite easy shapes to hold down with the left hand, but so effective with this open G tuning. So here we go. I'll play it very slowly for you. We play, first of all, the 5th string, 2nd and 3rd strings together. Now, what I did there was alternated the bass strings and brought 2 fingers down onto the 3rd fret, 2nd string and 3rd strings there. Up to the 5th fret with a bar shape, like that. Make sure you're playing the 5th bass string. And then slide up on the 2nd string, and then onto the 4th string. Notice the hammer-ons there. Double hammer-on the 4th string. Same again as the beginning. Bring the finger onto this bass string here on the 1st fret, like that, onto the bar on the 2nd fret, into a D chord. So far. plucking the 2nd, 3rd and 4th strings there. Then we come up on the 6th string and we play again. Drop 1 fret there. Back up to the 5th fret. Nice open sound there. 5th open. Okay, let's now break this down into the various parts, and we'll start off very simply by perhaps you just getting used to the melody of this tune, which is in fact, in other words, we're playing the 2nd string, 3rd fret, like that. Just get used to the tune. And then put the harmony to the melody, like this. So holding down these 2 fingers like that, and in on the 2nd string, and then into that shape. So once again, a little bit of vibrato. And we've now got to combine that, the melody, the harmony, and now an alternating bass, not just using 2 bass strings, but using in fact 3 bass strings. The importance of the thumb in this piece of music is that it helps to keep the beat, alternating between 3 important bass strings. So we hold down the shape again, we're playing the melody and the harmony together with this alternating bass, and the effect is this. Notice the fingers there, left hand. Takes a bit of getting used to, alternating on 3 bass strings into this shape. Now we're alternating on 2 strings there, the 6th and the 4th. Notice the little finger there on the 2nd string, into a D chord, into the 1st shape. Just play the 3 strings. And we play a little riff there. Just deaden the sound after you've played the 3 strings. On the 4th string. Finishing on the 6th string open. So, just to recap very slowly. And then it continues on again. And then we can play harmonics. Like that. So the effect is this. Back 2. Then into an E chord. We hold this shape down, stretch little finger up onto the 4th fret here, and then we just slide up 2 fingers, 2nd and 3rd strings to there. Finish on the 6th string. Bar that fret. And we just play. And then we move the fingers very quickly up to this shape, keeping the alternating bass with the thumb. And we playing 3 strings now, 1, 2, 3. Into this shape. 3 shapes there, in fact. back into this shape. Now we're playing the alternating bass, this time on the 6th and 4th. Once again. Into. And then we come into a new part which involves again alternating the bass, a little bit tricky at first. Watch again, watch the fingering. Up to that fret. Very important to get some vibrato. Like that. And then we go into this shape. We've just got to hold down the 3rd string there. Opens the 1st string there. A little riff here. Once again, together. And that is a G chord. And a little riff again. Once again. D7th, G major, back into. Play it 3 times. And that completes the piece. So I hope you enjoy playing this music. Try and persevere with this alternating bass. It takes a while for the fingers to coordinate with the thumb, keeping this constant bass. And above all, I keep saying in every video, practice. And frequent practice. Don't just sort of practice for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Perhaps practice half an hour every day. And frequent practice helps you make progress. Right, this is quite a complex arrangement. A lot of jazz chords in there. There's a lot going on. To make it easier for learning, what I've done is, in fact, illustrated a lot of the chords for you, and I've actually indicated the bar numbers on the screen so that when you're working through this, it's an easy reference point for you. So let's just break it up into parts again, and let's just learn the introduction first of all. Now the very first chord shape was up here on the first finger on the 7th fret, this shape here. And we need the bass string as well. Remember, this is just normal tuning. Into this shape. Once again, use your fingers liberally there. You can perhaps hammer on there. Into this shape. Bit of a stretch. First finger, little finger. We need to play these two notes. Into this next shape. E major chord. Hammer off there. Once again. That's the introduction. We start the tune like this. We slide up on the 2nd string there with the 2nd finger into this shape. Hammering on there. Into perhaps a double hammer on there. 1 or right, from the beginning. Up to the 9th fret there, slide down on the 2nd string, add that extra note there, bring the thumb onto the bass string, slide there, into this shape. And then extend the little finger out and then slide all the way down to the 2nd fret. Once again. Vibrato if you can get it. Remember, when you play this, bass string as well. Once again. Then we play this jazz chord progression of 4 chords. This is the first chord, using the thumb, of course. Into the 2nd chord shape, and then we slide into this next chord shape from the 3rd string 2nd fret, and then up on the 5th string bass, Once again. Then we go into the next part. And we start actually on the 2nd string, 12th fret, and we just slide up onto the 14th fret there. Like that. Now when you play that note, try and get a vibrato sound there. Back into. So just to recap, or you could play. Then we go into the next part. Stretch the fingers like this. That's the shape. Once again. Once again. And that's what I did there. Into that shape and into this new chord shape. Long stretch there into this shape. Two chord shapes there. Now, an interesting little riff here is first finger on the 4th string, 1st fret, 2nd finger here on the 5th string 2nd, and just slide up like this. And similarly, go onto these strings. F sharp, up to G sharp, back into, stretch into this shape. Now the second time we can play this. Open E bass and the G sharp on the first string. Now, and this time we can perhaps bend the string. And we come into the final part. Starts with this familiar chord now. And into this. Bit of a stretch that. And then you've got your finger, second finger here, just slide up. Get a vibrato on that second string. Hammer on the second again. Now, the last shape there, just hammer that first finger on the third string, first fret, and into these three shapes. Or better still. Finish with the harmonic. We've now come to the end of this video series, and I do hope you've enjoyed working through the various songs and exercises. Above all, keep practicing, keep those fingers moving on both hands, and I'll see you again.